Hi everyone, welcome to the Ibrox press room. Josh and Chris here ahead of Rangers against Hearts in the Scottish Premiership. Rangers an opportunity to extend their lead at the top of the Scottish Premiership today, given that they play first. Celtic, of course, in action tomorrow. We've just got the team, so we're going to read it out to you, look at the Hearts team, look at the substitutions, and then speak through it a bit. But I guess first and foremost, Chris, big one today.
It's got that big game feel about it. We've been here for a couple of hours or so already, and lots of people milling around. There's that kind of it's a lovely day at Ibrox, but it's got that big game feel about it. We can buzz around about the place. There's a hive of activity in the press room already. So you get games here start the season maybe a bit low key. This is not a low key game. There's plenty at stake for Rangers this afternoon. So fingers crossed, win for an entertaining game. Most importantly, 3 points.
Yes, let's see. Right, let's get straight to the team then. I'll read the team lineup out, the bench and the Hearts team as well. So Rangers go with Jack Butland in goals, a back four, and this is a part of the team that we're confident enough to say it definitely is going to be like this. James Tavernier, Connor Goldson, John Suter, Ridvan Yilmaz comes back in place of Borna Barisic. No surprises there. One or two in the front six selection. The midfield three, we think, will be Lundstrom, Diomande and Lawrence. Now, where Diomande and Lawrence play, who's deeper, who's higher, we don't know. We think it'll be Cortez off the left and Sterling off the right with Cyril Dessers through the middle. Chris, it could also be Dujon Sterling off the left and Cortez off the right. It could be Sterling in the middle with Lawrence off the left and Cortez off the right, although I'd be surprised at that because I think that Clement has played kind of two driving wingers generally. He's not. I think if he was going to play Sterling in the middle, then the lineup would have been slightly different to reflect that. What do you make of that? The big talking point, I guess, is that Dujon Sterling plays. He's in good form. He made a good impact off the bench against St Johnstone last weekend. Is that position the right? Is that where we're going to see him?
I think that's how the front three will line up. The only change I think that's maybe possible is Diomande and Lawrence switching positions. That's something myself and Derek spoke a bit about on the members video yesterday. I think in terms of the bring. I'm not surprised that Lawrence is in the side. I think that relationship between Lawrence and Lundstrom has been very impressive in the last couple of weeks when they played together. We know that Diomande can play a number of midfield roles. I don't think he's got a particular position of we've signed him. He's going to definitely play there. He's very flexible. Can play a number of roles very well. I thought he was really impressive last weekend against St Johnstone. Obviously scored a great goal. Pleased to see him back in the start lineup again. It's just where do you play him? Do you have him slightly deeper alongside Lundstrom, or do you have him slightly more advanced? Played a couple of weeks ago, or a couple of games ago, sorry, and the manager said afterwards, I think that's him playing slightly more forward than he's perhaps used to and perhaps has done before. Maybe that indicates that he's going to be slightly further back, but I think he does have all the attributes to go and play that number. It's going to play that in number 10 role, and it's an important position in the side because Cantwell is also such a huge blow, such a huge loss. We've spoken about him a number of times in the last few weeks. He's really impressive, been really consistent. His numbers in terms of goals and assists speak for themselves over the last few weeks. So not having him in the side is a blow. But the good thing about the strength and depth in the squad now, whether it's Lawrence, whether it's Diomande, I think there's also options in the squad there. So interested to see how the side lines up. But certainly it's a strong 11, and it's definitely a Rangers 11 you're back to go and get the job done this afternoon.
And it's probably a Rangers 11 that is made with a couple of things in mind. Sterling over McCausland, let's say, in that starting 11. I think it speaks to the fact that Hearts are in a fantastic run of form. Speaking to someone before who told me I think they've only lost 2 games since the League Cup semi-final defeat, 3-0 defeat to Rangers. Also think set pieces will be a big part of the game today. Hearts have been very good at that. Dujon Sterling gives you another physical profile there who's 6'1" maybe I'd guess, if not a little bit bigger. So I think that's made with that in mind as well. Very much about, I'd imagine, getting his profile in this type of game. Maybe it speaks to the type of game that Clement is expecting. Intrigued to see how it plays out. I'll read you the bench as well, Chris. It's McCrory, Silva, Scott Wright, Roof back in the squad for the first time in a while. Ben Davies also in the squad, Leon Balogun, Nico Raskin, Ross McCausland and Borna Barisic. And the Hearts team, incidentally, they go Clark, Kent, Kingsley, Beningame, Grant, Newhamhoff, Shanklin, Atkinson, Rolls, Cochrane and Vargas. So I don't think many big surprises. Obviously, no. Lawrence Shankland is is going to be a big talking point regardless today. I think Hearts will be in their normal 3-5-2 with Vargas as the higher striker. Shanklin given a bit of room to drop in as well. Options from the bench for Rangers today, Chris, of course, as well. Not too many in an attacking sense. Fabio Silva, maybe expected to see him start today, but it is Cyril Dessers. I mean, generally, when one started one game, the other started the next. And I don't know if is there much of a pattern beyond that, or is it just a case of keeping one fresh? Dessers will probably play 60 minutes and Silva will come on for the final 30 and probably benefit from the space that's created, just as Dessers did in Perth, although he didn't take advantage of it at the weekend.
I think that's the theme that's getting developed in terms of that number 9 position. So come Wednesday night, I think we're going to be sitting at Rugby Park. The team line's going to come out, and it's going to be Fabio Silva that starts. I don't think the manager believes there's much between them in terms of what they bring to the side. Was it Aberdeen game here that he praised Dessers for the work that he did in terms of doing a lot of the donkey work, if you like, putting a lot of running, tired Aberdeen defence out. Silva then came off the bench, and I thought he looked really, really impressive that night. Not just because he was playing against an Aberdeen defence that had an hour against Cyril Dessers under their belts. I thought he came off the bench and just really looked at it that night. But there is something in that. If you can have a striker that's going to put in a good 60-65 minutes, they can take care of a back four, make them work physically. That then opens up, hopefully, spaces. Maybe slightly tired, and if you have someone of Fabio Silva's quality stepping off the bench, hopefully Rangers don't need him to come off and find a moment of magic. Hopefully, the game's going fairly well by the time he's on. But if they do, hopefully he's certainly the type of guy that can go on and make a huge impact.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of legs in that midfield. Tom Lawrence has been in good form recently. I'd expect him to maybe be slightly deeper off the ball just because of how games have played out as of late. It's Cyril Dessers who starts up top for Rangers today. Oscar Cortez, now there's no Rabi Matondo on the bench as he comes back from injury. It looks like it's Cortez's shirt to lose at the moment. Again, a game which I think will suit him more. And I think this extends to Fabio Silva as well. I think he has played his best football at Ibrox on a pitch that suits him and a style that suits him a little bit more. I'd be interested to see how he does play it when he comes on, likely at some point today. Oscar Cortez, like Diomande, started well, and I guess the positive thing, Chris, is that we'll wait and see what type of game they have today. But these are two players that were signed in January, and yes, you look at the type of model that we know Rangers are trying to move towards, and have made noises about why they want to change the recruitment. The task was, can you get players in who are going to contribute between now and the end of the season as well? Now, we need to see over the long term if they'll do that, but the signs have been bright for both of those players. What are you expecting from Oscar Cortez today? Because I think especially when he's played at Ibrox, he's looked positive, he's looked aggressive, and if you look across that team, probably going to have some goal scoring intuition in this game today as well, isn't he?
Yes, but I think we saw that a couple of weeks ago. He started really brightly, had one that hit the post early on. I think coming off that left hand side, I think it's something we actually spoke about post match that night. He's got the ability. One, he can be direct, he can go down the line, but he can also come inside. He's got that. I think his decision making is good in that regard. It's not just that I'm going to head down and I'm going to go in a straight line, straight down the byline. I think he knows when to mix it up. He's clearly still going to take time to settle. And obviously it's a big change for him. Also coming into a club of this size, new country, new club, new changing room. There's a lot for a young man to have on his plate, but I think so far he has been really impressive. He looks the part so far. For me, that left hand side jersey, until Seamat is back fit, that jersey belongs to Cortez. I think he's a more effective option than Rabi Matondo, obviously not in the squad through injury. Obviously Ross McCausland on the other side, but I think Sterling deserves his crack in there. So I think there's definitely threat in that front three. Is there enough goals in it? Time will tell. Hopefully we're not sitting here in a couple of hours' time talking about another couple of Cyril Dessers misses, because I think it's a big afternoon for him. He obviously got his goal here against Ross County last week. Started the game really well, missed a couple, finished the first half really well, missed a couple, got man of the match, and it was just one of those nights for the big man. So no, hopefully it's a productive afternoon for him as well, because he's got the nod. He still looks, I know he's inconsistent, he still looks the most likely source of a goal in that Rangers front three.
He certainly does, which is saying something about this season. Steve says, reckon Sterling gives Tav a bit more defensive help, and when that happens, Lawrence can drift into the right wing position and Dio comes up to the 10 position. Smart choices by PC. I think where this point hits the nail on the head is that Hearts play a back five. There's a reason I think that Clement also chose to bring Sterling off the bench instead of McCausland last week, and arguably why he started Scott Wright as well is that at times Sterling probably, if he does play on the right, will have to drop back to help Tavernier to make sure that it does not become a 5 against 4 in the back line. So I think that's a good point to raise. Just finally, Chris, the defence. Rangers defence has been good recently. Porgeron saying really good, bar a couple of lapses here and there. There's a whole video you can watch if you're waiting for something to do before kick-off that Derek and I recorded earlier this week. I asked Clement about that yesterday, and he said it's crucial. If you give shots away, you give chances away, you give hope to the opposition. It's important, and one of the major things in football I want to see, his side not conceding a shot away at St Johnstone on target. I want to see a dominant attacking team, but always staying in our structure, that we don't give away easy things. It's a challenge with so many people in the attack, but to still not give away chances. The players understand the story and they're doing it better. It doesn't mean I know we will get shots against. I don't expect the game against Hearts for us to not concede any shots. That can't be a reality against a team of their quality. We are really ambitious with the team now. That's going to be a big part of today's game. Hearts are in really good form. This is going to be a difficult game for Rangers. Hearts are in their best form in years. I think they have Lawrence Shankland, a player who is one of the best players in the league this season, a strong case for the best striker in the league. At the moment, Rangers will have to get the side of the game off the ball spot on to win today, and maybe again that's a team selection made with that in mind.
The manager highlighted that a couple of times yesterday, saying that Shankland scored more than 50% of the Hearts goals. So you don't need to be a tactical genius to figure out where the main threat is coming from in that Hearts side. As you say, Josh, they're in very, very good form. Their form speaks for themselves over the last few weeks. But Shankland is a guy. How many times did we speak about him over the course of the window? There's a reason that a number of Rangers fans wanted him to be playing at Ibrox in the second half of the season, because he scores goals. If Rangers can keep him quiet, if they can stop him scoring, obviously gives them a far better chance of winning the game. But I think overall the defence has been very impressive over the last few weeks. This will arguably be the biggest test, certainly domestically, that they've had for the last couple of weeks. Though, now not conceding a shot at St Johnstone away, it's a great start to have. But this is a very different test against a good Hearts side. So if they can keep a clean sheet, hopefully that's a real foundation to then go on and you then back the guys at the top end of the pitch to do the business to get the 3 points.
Absolutely. We're going to leave it there, folks. Chris and I will be live at some point after the press conference, so keep an eye for it. You can read our instant match analysis. Keep up to date with us on social right throughout the game as well. Remember to please subscribe to the Rangers Review if you've not done so already. Link is in the description. It really supports the work that we do. But until then, enjoy the game wherever you're watching it. We'll speak to you after. Bye for now.